Hello, everyone, and welcome to the round of 16 Summer Cup cast. I am Opie here with Sped Monkey
Hi, that's me.
and with Legorv Janine hosting for the first time on Spy Party. Welcome, Legorv, to the cabal of hosts that we always need more of. Um, and thank you very much for doing this, of course. Now we have a couple of very fun games here today. We have Adafheyesh versus Rhythmicsheep. And we have Minirek versus Beanie as our matches today. Of course, this is the round of 16, as I mentioned. We are down to 1/4 the starting number of players in the Summer Cup, which means the competition is getting fierce.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a crazy run. Unfortunately, certain people, myself included, had to drop, which obviously I would be here in the round of 16 if not for that. But all the players remaining are extremely strong. I don't think any of them are strangers at this point to this phase of the tournament, and it's going to be really exciting to see what plays they have to get them into potentially the round of 8.
Yeah, as per usual, we have for all matches in the round of 16 the exact same venue setups. We have for this round. It's going to be starting out on High Rise 4 of 8. We go to Aquarium 4 of 8, Pub, the Sniper Arcade setup 3 of 7, then Veranda 5 of 8, Redwoods 4 of 8, and we round it out on Gallery Any 4 of 8. Additionally, because this is a knockout stage of the tournament, ties are no longer allowed, and in traditional Summer Cup fashion, we do have Balcony Any 2 of 3, Sudden Death, take 2 in a row, you win the set. That is just, well, not necessarily. It's you sweep that balcony, and you take the set. Um, so that is going to be our overtime. We'll see if we get to that though, because there's plenty of opportunity before then for any spy or sniper or player to put themselves ahead. We'll see if Adafheyesh can begin doing that because our first match is Adafheyesh versus Rhythmicsheep, and Adafheyesh is on the spy side starting as Kane. I've got the game up. Sped, do you?
I'm good if Legorvis.
All right. In that case, let us get going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, wow, I'm sorry, starting off strong here. Ada's starting off as Kane as the spy and just idling in the conversation where the AI dumped him.
Oh,
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 all
oh.
right. Well,
Well,
it's fine. We'll just restart it.
everything's fine.
Okay. No, this is fine. We're good. No,
Well, now I have to restart my whole.
eh, eh.
Okay, let us get right back into it, into the correct game this time. Let us begin in 3. Oh, never mind. Sorry. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So, let's just pretend that we're starting this fresh. Ada starting as Kane here, getting dumped into the conversation circle next to Salmon, and taking an innocent drink right off the bat here.
Yeah, we did that little bit of AI control until we landed in that conversation, but we just quickly wanted to move around. But our ST is nowhere to be seen. I think we took this talk because we didn't want to be seen bugging.
Yep,
Is
there it
what
is.
that
There's
seems
the
like.
bug right there. The standing bug. The lean was visible, and the highlight comes off right away. I think Sheep is strongly suspected that.
Yeah, it was a really nicely timed bug because this is a bug that Sheep was rotating over towards the right side of the venue to get a highlight onto Pearls, who was taking statues at the time. So it was a really nice timing by Adafheyesh, and despite that, uh, Sheep does pick up the highlight onto Adafheyesh. Of course, that still means you have to be shooting for flirt contact. It's still a difficult game. Actually, no, this is 4 of 8. This is 4 of 8 high rise. I'm going to retract that statement. I made these venue sets, folks, and I still don't remember that we're on 4 of 8. Uh,
You not only did you make them, but you have played them now multiple
yeah,
times.
I've played them. I've played them multiple times in both actual sets and in yeah, mock sets. If I'm forgetting these things, it's a problem. But Adafheyesh does have a bit to go, and if Sheep is highlighting and crediting that bug, it may be difficult to win this game, which is reflected in that spy win chance down at 25% right about now.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that bug from the sniper point of view, the lean back was definitely visible as Sheep is rotating back around.
Banana bread.
Here's the banana bread though, and it's a pretty good one. Only one low light available.
One low light and everyone gets real.
Yeah, that's about as good as you can possibly hope for on 4 of 8 high rise. We take that all day.
Yeah, it's basically free mission progress. The downside is so tiny, and we even greened it, so we weren't even seen talking. 55% on the flirt. So one more will do it, but we still need another mission after that.
And that's always the question, right? Especially on these 4 of 8 venues. Even if you get one hardtail done, you're still going to have to complete things. And with no statue visits yet, I feel like going statue to statue or going center statues this late is basically as good as a hardtail.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you got the center statues, and looks like Adafheyesh is going to be stepping into those. The question is Sheep willing to shoot for this? Yes, yes. The answer to that question comes quickly, just as quickly as that bullet enters Adafheyesh's body. The game is already over, and Sheep just takes the first game, and something tells me with the quickness of that shot, that the bug was maybe a little bit more than suspected.
Yeah, I think so. But there's an interesting choice by Ada there. I feel like in that situation, the bug is kind of a binary choice, right? If you're not suspected for it, then in theory, there's no good mission count, and finishing center statues is not going to get you shot. But if it was seen, then that's your last mission, and you die. It's pretty much one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, Sheep did actually do a very stealthy highlight during that game after the bug onto Adafheyesh. So I think that the fact that we were highlight, wasn't really in Adafheyesh's mind there. So Sheep gets that shot off very nicely done from Sheep, getting the first game of the set. Of course, going to need to find a spy win to convert an actual lead here. But we'll see how if she can manage that in 3, 1, playing it.
Alright. Well, Sheep starting off here as Twin. And same thing as that we saw last game, just going to wander into the back conversation circle, hang out, innocently talk, and wait for the selection target to leave statues, it would appear.
Yeah. And Sheep was coming into the set off of a pretty strong win against T-Flame in the previous round. And T-Flame, of course, has had some pretty incredible results in the past, getting to the finals of the PAX Invitational, which had a lot of very strong players involved. Beat Urand in that tournament. We've seen T-Flame do a lot of strong things. So Sheep taking that victory there. Oh, that was Cat. I'm thinking of Cat.
Yeah. Sheep dominated Jake.
Yeah.
In the first round.
Sheep, Cat. They're both animals. That's my excuse. I've also had a very, very tiring weekend. That's another excuse. But yeah, that was Cat. My bad. Sheep. But yeah, Sheep dominated Jake, as you said. Checking the actual, the actual bracket, not the one that I remember in my head. With a score of 7-1, so clearly coming in. Even though it wasn't T-Flame like I was talking about, 7-1 is still a statement of a scoreline. So we'll see if Adafheyesh can answer that.
Yep.
Adafheyesh, of course, coming off of beating Manators. A close set, 7-5, but Manators is scary. Manators, I believe, was second in Copper, which had our very own Legorv Janine in it this past SEL, and of course has always been a very strong player, very long time player. So nice performance there by Adafheyesh.
Yeah, Legorv and Manators, no strangers to each other, of course.
Whoa,
shots coming off for direct transfer. That was a direct transfer.
That was a direct transfer.
Ada clearly had the book firmly in mind, and the shot comes off right on the heel of those fancy saddle shoes.
I'll admit, I actually hadn't realized that was a direct transfer, and I was like, why is the shot coming off? But no, it is just Adafheyesh knows exactly what this game is, where that book came from, better than I do, and I could see the spy the entire time. So very nice shot there, pretty confident. You have to be confident to shoot for that kind of thing. A lot of players, they're going to be like, I think that was a different book, and just highlight for it. But Adafheyesh knows, and Adafheyesh does not allow Sheep to mess up the beautiful organization of all of these books. That's just a travesty. But now we are on to Aquarium, where we see Adafheyesh on the spy side once more. It's tied up at 1-1 with snipers taking out the first two games. We'll see if Adafheyesh can break that uh that trend here. It's two games. Can you really call it a trend yet? Um, but
Well, we'll find out.
we will find out indeed in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yep, Ada here starting off as Alice. Just wandering around for the time being. I don't think I remember seeing any sort of cheeky shark plays as staples of either of these players' playbooks, but at this point, both are experienced enough to be aware of them, I think, on both sniper and spy side. So it'll be
Hmm.
interesting to see if any of them decide to break out anything sort of cheeky in this set.
Yeah, cheeky cheeky stuff behind Shark is a staple of Aquarium play. It's one of the big reasons that Shark is there in the first place. Honestly, if that Shark wasn't there, the sniper would have a big advantage just because of the high angle and very little occlusion other than that Shark that exists on Aquarium. You can see things pretty easily as long as the keel is not swinging across them.
Look at Ada, by the way, these very respectful flirts. Sheep is renowned as one of the strongest flirt pairers in currently playing Spy Party, and I think this flirt from a cross conversation circle here is reflective of that reputation.
Yeah, and that is one of the benefits of being known as a flirt pairer. Flirt is something that can really hurt the spy if they're behind on it, if they're kind of having trouble getting that complete, and if they're willing to take a much slower flirt. 29% is not going to be enough for two more whites, even if you get close to your ST twice more. Because of that, that could create huge space for Sheep, even if Sheep misses things that might have otherwise end of the game. If you don't have that flirt done, you might need to do an extra thing, or maybe go to overtime, and Sheep could have that victory there. Here comes a contact. It's going to be real for us, but only for us. Actually, no. General does join the bottom right conversation, so there's a few lets coming off on this party, but we are not the only conversation with real, which may have resulted in a bunch of highlights in the center conversation there, if that had been the case.
Yeah, well, these highlights right now, Sheep is highlighting for statue visits and not for bar. There have been a lot of statue visitors right now, and we are joining the crew. But again, a lot of highlights currently, especially for Aquarium. Sometimes you see very few, but this is a fairly high number, and that's going to muddle Sheep's memory further as we progress into this game deeper.
Yeah, we do pick up a fingerprint off of the statue. It's been cooking there for a fair bit of time, I think. If we hit this green test, yes, the flirt is indeed done here. So that respectful flirt, despite
And
it
look,
being as respectful as
Amba's leaving a print at the back statues right there. Ada can go back, pick up the flirt and the inspect, and finish this game off with one statue visit. But will
yeah.
Sheep be aware of it?
Yeah, it's one of those games where you say, you have to know, this is where the ambassador has been, this is where I have been, I could have flirt done. Here comes another contact.
Interesting
I just
choice.
giving more people contact, I suppose. Maybe just trying to throw off Sheep here, but it does allow a couple more lowlights.
Yep, and knocking out a couple more highlights as well.
We'll see if Adafheyesh is willing to go to this back statue, but this seems like a bit of a rough spot to be in. Even if you go for this fingerprintable statue, that is going to put you in mission win countdown. But
Here it
it
is.
just feels so likely that you're just going to die for this with how many lowlights there are in this party. Yeah, and immediately it's not even a thought. Sheep has been shooting so confidently so far this set.
Yeah, only two, but I think we can possibly say that there is in fact a trend here.
Yeah, yes. It's just kind of rare in any set to see someone should be shooting that confidently, especially on a soft tell game. But in this case, there is no hesitation. Sheep is all over it, and it goes up 2-1. Again, it's trying to convert to that 3-1, that venue sweep. We'll see if it works out. Sheep now on the spy side, Adafheyesh on the sniper side. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. I keep messing up my own countdown for my own prediction tool that I run locally. Um,
What, Ligor's isn't good enough for you?
Well, I can't see Legorbs. I mean, I could see Legorbs, but then I wouldn't be looking at my own screen for my SpyParty client. Um, and I like to do that while casting. Turns out, I like to watch the game while I'm casting.
I mean, just have multiple screens. Anyway,
That would be a solution. But nothing happening early in this game. I think largely because our ST is at statues, so we can't really do anything with wheels there. We're gonna go out as if we are getting this briefcase. All the while we've delegate cheesed. We don't pick up the briefcase. Wheels gets that before we do, so Wheels has quite a bit of progress immediately in this game. And Sheep, because Wheels is our ST, is gonna be aware of that.
yes, indeed. We are not in standing bug range next to the ambassador here, which I think is probably a conscious choice. We don't want to be credited for that, especially in the situation where we stay here long enough for the shark to come. But it doesn't matter because we're going to split and go pick up our first flirt.
We've also delegated to Smallman here. 51% now immediately. That Purloin's pending. Will it come off though?
I think it will. I think it was quick enough. And yep, there it is.
Yeah,
The
no
list
one's
fade
at
is
bar.
clearly seen. And Ada is not highlighting for either bar or statues, by the way. Ada clearly only highlighting for mission
Oh
completes.
wow, look at
Wow,
this
look at that.
progress.
Yeah, the bug. We got stood up there on the bar, and we pick up a highlight for the bug and possibly the purloin as well. Suddenly, there's a lot of progress with a lot of threat as well.
Yeah, it's really the question is the big question is does Adafheyesh shoot Rhythmicsheep for the contact? That's the that's when you need to shoot, especially if this second flirt is also a green test.
Yeah, look at this. This is actually a pretty solid rush that we're putting together here. Unfortunately, we don't have the double agent in this conversation circle. But there's the flirt done. And unfortunately, we don't know the suspected double agent is in this conversation circle, so Twin can't join us. But as soon as Twin does get into a conversation, I imagine we're just going to beeline right there and fire off that banana bread.
Yeah, this is a really nice early game. Lots of mission progress, and it's a rush in all but the time that you finish the game at. And we do see Twin move into conversation. We're gonna move into conversation with Twin here, and here comes the
Banana bread.
contact. Is the shot gonna come off? Little laser movement. Yes, yes, it is. Wow.
Really nice
These
job.
snipers.
Yeah, Ada on top of the purloin and with the bug credit, willing to take that shot pretty early on.
Yeah, that's just really impressive. The amount of these snipers really just seem to be all over the spies right now, and it's gonna be who can break away, who can find a very clever, very strong spy game to just sneak past the enemy sniper and hold it down toward the end. And Adafheyesh, I mean, if you're gonna do it somewhere, pub 3 of 7 is gonna be a place to do it. There's lots and lots of options on this venue, but you don't have much time to utilize them, so you've got to make decisions quickly, and you've got to make, you just have a lot of work to do here on this venue, but a lot of opportunity. We'll see if Adafheyesh can do it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Alright, starting off as Alice again, picking up a low light, but that was just accidental. We're good. This is fine. A lot of bouncing around the ambassador in the entryway of the door there, and that's horrifying for a sniper.
Yeah, luckily the ambassador does bounce away from that. I've seen the ambassador for a time like just be in there for like 10-15 seconds, and it's just absolutely the worst thing. But ambassador does get out to bar pretty quickly, and Adafheyesh picks up an early inspect.
Yep. And also a swap. Adafheyesh is just white swapping right here. We are going for the full-on rush. Do we purloin here, or do we go for banana bread? The double agent is not in the conversation.
For the time being, the swap is behind Seek's body, but I think Rhythmicsheep is now rotated enough to see that this has happened. But we don't have any finishes. The double agent is not in conversation. As you said, I think it would have been really interesting to just go straight into bar and take that list directly and, not allow Sheep to realize that this statue's been swapped, but there's been no reaction. That's the critical thing right now. Maybe Sheep is oh, never mind. Sheep finally notices. So the thing is, so this is exactly what I was talking about. When you have this early whites up on the board, it is a race against the clock until the sniper notices, because they're not typically going to be actively watching that statue. They're gonna be like, why would a spy swap right there? But eventually, they are going to lay their eyes back on that statue and realize, hey, that's a swap, and gonna shoot you. We had, in this case, 36 seconds between the swap happening and the shot coming off. So if we had gone straight into bar, I think we have a better shot at winning that game just before the sniper can even comprehend the swaps happened than if we wait for something longer and just kind of hope.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there was a bit of a pile up at bar there prior to that, so we would have had to either demand or wait. But I think that that's the best play. If you're going for that early swap, you have to be planning to mission complete very, very quickly before the sniper has a chance to sort of figure out everything that's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. If there was a double agent conversation, I think you could make an argument that you go do that instead. But they just weren't. There just weren't that many options other than to purloin at that point. I think that they were very strong. Um, so that is another sniper game for Rhythmicsheep. Now, once more on the spy side of Pub, snipers have won all 5 games so far, and we are constantly on the lookout for any spy that can flip that script. We'll see if Sheep can do it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah. Just as a side comment, these players are picking kind of the meta spies so far. We've seen a lot of Alice, a lot of General, some Kane. Not a lot of interesting characters like Salmon going on so far.
Not enough interesting characters like Salmon. Oh, are we gonna go for this bug? Wow, look
We
at
are.
that. We
The
just
arm
walked
was
through.
covered.
General walking bug, making use of that. It's the best walking bug in the game by many players' estimations, and I don't know if Adafheyesh is crediting this.
No, it really
Oh,
doesn't look like it. Oh no, that's brutal, especially on Sniper Arcade with the low time limit here. Having the selection target bail on you and going all the way inside from the outer conversation circle, this could be brutal. But maybe Twin's gonna come back to us after all.
no, just into the other conversation. I don't want to get credited with a bug while we're walking past the ambassador this time. That would be unfortunate. But looks like Adafheyesh was on top of that, and we were far enough away from the ambassador. We're gonna go into inspect here, so maybe going for a silent game,
Inspect
maybe
swap?
going, yeah, for an inspect swap. That's what I was thinking as well. We pick up the highlight, of course, as we do the inspect. Um, do we do the swap? We do not, and I think that's a good thing because look at Adafheyesh kind of was zooming in on that.
Yeah, I think the play here is go for that banana bread that Ada was not able to get last game. That seems to be the play, and if we're not credited for the bug, this could be a win right here because we can't be credited for the flirt either at this point.
You're right, Bess!
Oh no! Oh no!
No!
We're going to be coughing. It's visible on screen, and there's the shot coming off immediately.
Oh, that's tragic because there is a world in which Adafheyesh shoots this regardless of the of the red test, but it just makes it so much easier when you have that on your top suspect and you just see the cough. That's so brutal.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It would have been really interesting to know if Ada shoots that for just a white or a green.
Yeah, a green might have been difficult. A white, I mean, it really depends on the sniper. If a green and a white makes a difference, but in this case, either one, it would have been much more difficult shot to take. But we still have snipers winning all the way 6 games so far, and it's Veranda, so I would not be surprised to see it go up to 8 games in just a moment. Adafheyesh on the spy side. You said you wanted to see non-meta spies, Sped?
Yep.
Well, we have one here. It's Cowboy. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Well, this is interesting. I think Cowboy, however, a little bit under. Ooh, missed pad there. Worked fine. This is fine. Cowboy a little underrated here on Veranda due to the strength of the swap blocks. That is probably the only benefit to playing Cowboy here, but at least it's better than certain other characters would be.
Yeah, Cowboy's relatively slow. Stands out a little bit, kind of tall. Not the most, not the tallest, but he does have that just bright color scheme, big hat. So you're typically gonna know where he is in a party.
That's true, but we're gonna rip this book. Sheep's attention is focused on the ambassador right now, and if we haven't been noticed here, there's a microfilm. It's an action test. I don't think it's noticed at all. I think that was perfectly clear. So that's one half of that done.
Yeah. That's going to be progress, but of course you do have to do the other one. It's probably going to be over at Blue Bookcase, especially with the ambassador putting a print on that right now. Adafheyesh is making note of that through the wall. You can see the ambassador's arrow, and you can kind of presume where they are. And look at that, yeah, making sure to angle his camera over to see just to make sure exactly where that ambassador is.
Yeah, and we could be going, but no. Instead, we're going to stop in this innocent conversation circle, but get
Innocent,
rewarded as the seduction target joins us.
innocent until made guilty by RST.
And
Oh
then
no,
Oh,
action priority. I think. Wait, is
no, RST got their flirt off.
okay. Well, then that's an interesting fake.
Yeah, it's an interesting fix. It's going to cost us 5 whole lowlights in this party, and there's only one highlight in it either. As well. This party is not being very active for us here, as far as
No,
inspect
it's not.
and making visual noise goes.
The
Seek
one
is going to
saving
go into
grace
Blue
of it.
Book,
Yep. I was going to say
smudging.
that the one saving grace of that is that everybody else did have real, or all three STAs. All three STAs were in conversation, so a lot of people did have real from that, which is a saving grace of that. But unfortunately, as you say, it did give off a lot of low lights, and also it gave us a real banana bread as well.
So green flirt's going to be very helpful, but that fingerprint is gone from Blue at this point. Seek and Alice have both been there, so there is no more opportunity for that kind of idea going forward. You still can't get prints, of course, especially with this time. Oh, bug! But it takes.
It did take, and it was pretty well hidden from the angle of the sniper. The Amba
Yeah,
did us a huge favor by pathing that way, and the animation was a little bit visible, but unless you were really looking for it, I think that might have been clean.
yeah, that's so huge. That's such a rare path for AI to take as well. So really, kudos to Adafheyesh for being on top of that and ready to take that bug when he did. So that is going to make us, much more likely to win this game, even without those prints. That print singular that would have been on Blue Bookcase. We still, of course, need to get away with the animation microfilm. But with Ambassador and Toby on the left side, this is a really good time for it. And Adafheyesh realizes that going in to Blue Bookcases again, completely on the other side of the venue. Oh, but look at this. It's Sheep rotating back around, but it's just not seen. Too much movement.
Yep, I think we're fine here. And suddenly, with Flirt done, and Banana Bread still available in our pocket, we have a minute and a half to find one more mission. And we don't have any fingerprints, but we could just go statue to statue and finish inspects along with the Banana Bread in between.
Yeah, that would be a bit risky, I'd say. I mean, of course, you have 2 completely clean missions, right? But
We assume at least.
yeah, yeah, you feel like you're completely clean right
banana
now.
bread.
But going statue to statue in the last minute of the game is going to prompt dots just sometimes, anyways, despite having completely clean missions. So we don't go for the purloin here. That's not our attempt.
No, and it wouldn't have been a good place. It would have just been a naked Purloin, I think, as a character to take a drink right before us. So, and look at Sheep just zooming in on this list, really, really paranoid about this Purloin to end things potentially.
Yeah, but what do you do if it's not purloin? You don't have options for print. Statue to statue at this
Well,
point.
there was a
is bad.
reject. There was a reject, and then we requested. Here comes the Purloin. It's going to be a white
Be a
test,
white
though. The
test,
fade's going to be
no.
clearly visible.
No, it's covered by Toby's rotation. It's covered by Toby's rotation.
It's Sheen.
Sheen?
The list missing is Sheen, and the wrong shot's going to come off. Ada finds a spy win here to break serve.
Wow. Yeah, that was a really nice game. The last bit of that was a white purloin, and it could have been bad, but Toby, this is pretty recent knowledge, courtesy of Dr. Grash. Toby, when someone takes a drink, he will rotate towards the center of the venue, and in this case, it put it behind the door, and the rotation as the tray comes up with the sniper angle from veranda, that fade just wasn't very visible from Sheep's angle.
Yeah, I think if she were focused on it, she could have seen the slow fade a little bit. From the sniper camera, it looked like a little bit of it was visible, but Sheep just not quite on top of it enough, and I don't think we had enough threat compared to Irish as well, given that, again, as you say, the two hardtails were completely hidden.
Yeah, absolutely. Very nicely played game from Adafheyesh, taking opportunities, making some of his own, and comes away with a spy win against what seemed to be a dominant Rhythmicsheep sniper on veranda of all venues. Now the question is, can Adafheyesh keep his own sniper just as dominant? We'll see if that is going to be the case. In three, two, one, playing it.
Hey, we got some salmon spy. That's what I like to see.
You made a complaint and they heard you in the past and were like, yeah, okay, fine, sped.
And I appreciate both of them. Alright, taking things slow to start off here. Our selection target is in the conversation circle, but we're going to go for this first briefcase and pick up the early print instead.
That is a good opportunity on Veranda in particular with the long amount of time you've got. The single print early on is going to set us up for a lot of potential finishes later on, and getting it this early while the sniper is doing so many other things as far as housekeeping does mean that there's a little bit less attention paid to us getting this print. Maybe Adafheyesh doesn't remember in the future.
Yep, and pretty good flirt progress as well here. That's our second flirt, up to 68% here. And this early in the game, that's really good progress too. I mean, flirt, with the amount of time that you have on Veranda, not that difficult to complete compared to, say, Gallery potentially, but even so, having that out of the way and letting your attention completely shift to doing other missions instead is a really nice bonus early on if you can get that mission progress done.
Sheep is watching the ambassador as he lays down a print on that back left statue, so I would be surprised if we didn't see at least an attempt to go for that later on in this game. The briefcase is going to get picked up by an SDA, so a little bit unfortunate for Sheep because that is going to be one less print that's going to be on other characters that could actually be the spy. You always want to see more and more prints being given to AI if you can. It's just more taxing on the sniper and gives threat to the party. We do see a time edit here aiming to make use perhaps of that really early print and playing a long game, and we go immediately into statues as well. So I really do think we're going to see that print statue later on come back to be important.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it. Sheep really setting up for that potential game-ending play. Oh, a clank! Why?
What?
We get a highlight for it, and we're the only ones, and low lights coming out for anyone who was not at statues at the time. This is disastrous.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Why have we
There,
done this? It's a
there's,
bug.
there was a
It's a
standing
red
bug
test
across the
dude.
conversation, but the bug was clean, but I don't know what all is happening. I don't think Ada does either, for that matter.
Everything was so nice. We missed the conversation. Oh my.
Yeah, this game is just falling apart right in front of our eyes.
Oh, this is tragic for Rhythmicsheep. We had a really nice game shaping up here, and we even got a bug despite the clank. But this, with even all that said, we're probably top suspect in this party. Oh no.
Yeah,
However, consider this: we get flirt. If we get contact here, printable statue in the back left will complete missions.
I think that Ada's just looking for an excuse to shoot at this point.
It's possible, but
And the end of
having a
round.
way to finish despite a clank is gonna be, it is surprising. Usually when you clank, okay, never mind. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We got to go back and look at this clank. Oh, we tried to walk away from it too early, I guess. That's maybe Sheep thought that she might have been not seen the statue and was trying to cancel the animation and leave before them.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
But that's just so unfortunate, the fact that it becomes a clank in the end. Ah,
Yeah, just a
wanting to
little
avoid
short
being
on the
seen.
animation, unfortunate.
Yeah, wants to avoid being seen, and then it just becomes
And the
top
end of
suspect
red.
instead. That's unfortunate for Sheep, and that means that Adafheyesh is going to be taking that lead a little more permanently, and Sheep is going to have to find a way to break Adafheyesh's sniper to come back in this set. And that, so far, has shown to be very difficult. But first, Adafheyesh has another chance on the spy side to make this lead even larger, this time on Redwoods, one of the more spy favorite venues we have here in Spy Party. Let's get it going in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Alright, well, picking things as Sorry, which is an interesting choice, because Redwoods is a little bit deceptive as far as the size here. But Obviously, Sorry brings a lot to the table besides her slow speed. So I think it's pretty defensible. The ambassador's going to come towards us, but does not come into bug range after all. But we're going to make it happen ourselves. We're just going for that bug right in the back. The path was seen. I'm not sure. We're not getting highlighted or anything for it, but she very clearly saw the path at least.
Uh, maybe the path was visible, but was it noticed? Because we were zoomed out. I'm not sure exactly what we were zoomed out for, because a lot of the time on Redwoods, you do want to be zoomed in. But if we were zoomed out and not paying attention to that path, that could be a completely clean bug. Completely clean bug.
Maybe, but Sheep has been very on top of the bug credits so far this set. So has Ada for that matter as well. But I mean, we saw in Aquarium, for example, Sheep completely on top of the potential buggers and willing to take the shot for the assumed bug. And I would be surprised if she's not on top of this one as well.
Well, we'll see. We have no indication necessarily right now. Here comes the contact. General gets a low light. Still no highlight on us. Kane, I would not be surprised to see Adafheyesh go for a delegate Purloin finish. Pretty early in this game. If we get this flirt now, we go back to our ST, we take the second flirt, or rather the last flirt, and then send someone off to delegate. That's going to be finishing missions at maybe a minute into the game, right? Rather, minute with a minute left on the clock, which is pretty early comparatively to some finishes.
Alright, hear me out. We go to the window, come back, red flirt Kane to... Hope Kane goes to... and I had a plan here, but it fell apart in my head because I realized that doesn't work. You can't guarantee that Kane will go to the bar. But in any case, yes, this seems like something that could work, and we're just timer floating this because we can. We have the time to wait.
Yes, we do. 1:15 on the clock, but we're just kind of waiting here. I think we're timer flirting, which could punish us later on because when you're completing missions later in the game, a sniper is more willing to shoot for whatever you do.
We already have a bug, unfortunately. The ambassador trying very hard to get bugged once again. But with under a minute now, Ada is finally making his move, and it looks like he agrees with you, going to the bar to pick up this drink. Will it be a direct purloin though, or just a delegate?
That is a question. A direct purloin, of course, would create an immediate threat of completion, 10 seconds for Rhythmicsheep to notice and shoot, but instead we go for the fingerprint? I didn't even realize that we had one of those available.
I didn't either, but that opens up another win condition. If the ambassador drops something very quickly that we can pick up, then we can grab that as a finish instead. But
Yeah,
we
but
are also
18
next
seconds
to
here.
Oh, we are not going to delegate. I thought we were going to delegate to Kane there.
Oh, we're gonna go next to Buns.
Yep, there it goes. She's walking off, and she is a highlight as well. There's going to be overtime here regardless.
There's going to be overtime, but is there going to be a hang? That's really, really important, because if it's a hang, you know it's not Buns, and there is going to be a hang. I think Sheep might be on top of this because of the clock hanging.
Yep,
Yeah, look
safety
at that.
off. Yeah.
Shot comes off even before overtime triggers.
Yep, so Sheep was over that from the beginning, it seems like. I think that bug was credited, as suspected, and Sheep just taking the correct shot there, completely diagnosing correctly the purloin at the end.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the fact that the clock hangs at the end here is just such a big, big indicator that Sorry is the spy, whether or not you have the bug, because of the low lights you have, because of the narrowed party. So maybe Sheep doesn't have bug here, maybe Sheep does, but the point is that hang really hurt our chances to win that game, and Sheep is still in it with a spy side on Redwoods. Once again, one of those more likely spy sides to be able to win. We'll see if she can bring the set back to even in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Your rhythm is just killing me here.
I'm sorry, my rhythm is based on the fact that I have to run my prediction tool.
Yes, but your rhythm is not that of a Sheep. And speaking of whom, she's picking up a delegate early on here. Could go for the cheeky bug here, but does not take it. Interesting choice. I think it might be credited because General was covering the arm.
Yeah, and that's something that you kind of have to realize with characters covering up bugs that would normally be very visible. is that when they're standing in front of you, that can be a lot stronger than you expect. But Rhythmic Sheep doesn't take it, doesn't risk it, even though it might have been a really nice bug, and instead is going to just hang on to this delegate option.
Yep, at the time ad fireplace window, but is not going to take the time ad either. Instead, just sipping and joining the conversation circle here in the back, across from the ambassador. I'm not sure why we're in this one, to be honest. There's no double agent, there's no selection target, and she clearly agrees as she bails, hoping to get a flirt here at window, but the selection target bails before we even get there.
White test on the time ad here, but it is a time ad. If it's noticed, that's going to be probably pretty bad for us, but if it's not, 45 seconds on the clock is never something you're going to complain about as a spy.
Well, here's the first flirt after all. And we'll pick up a statue with it as well, as our selection target is at the books. So our selection target getting some mission progress done here.
Right. We do get the single inspect. Adafheyesh does not highlighting for inspect, so we avoid that. I wonder though if RST is about to pick up a highlight of her own because she did just complete inspects on that second visit. She goes straight from the red books, or rather, sorry, green books to the outside a statue and finishes those up. But Adafheyesh not bothering to put the highlight on there. I'm wondering now what the highlights are for. Maybe bar.
Could be, but I have to think that Sheep is aware of the situation, clearly paying attention to the selection target, and is aware the selection target is done. So if we're going to do some sort of frame, Alice is a very, very strong target currently with all the threat that she has built
Oh
up.
yeah, this is really nice too because she has gone to bar. We could just follow her into conversation, sandwich a guest with her. With whichever guest she's closest to, we become closest to them as well, and we just double frame a guest for delegate, and we find a contact for ST, and then Alice would basically be finishing missions at that point. So we go next to Wheels if we can, or perhaps Salmon, who knows? And so we go straight in next to Alice herself.
Yep, this has to be the play. Unfortunately, Alice did just take a drink, so she is going to have to go and chug a drink at the bar if we do fire off this delegate.
Oh,
But there's a red test
oh,
instead, plus a
oh!
framing Alice with the red test delegate.
That's so
Very
nice.
interesting. Yeah.
If only we had
Unfortunately,
waited it a little bit. Yeah, with the double agent, the fact that the double agent just joined, but is Alice coming back? Yes, she is. This could be a beautiful frame here from Rhythmic Sheep, taking Purloin's gone, our seduce is done, and here we take the contact, and Alice could potentially be in mission win countdown. If I see the list is gone, yes, he does. And here's the question: who gets shot? If anyone, here's the contact. Here's the big decision. We're not done, but Alice could be. Is she dead?
not yet.
Highlight onto Alice. She's moving as well immediately afterwards. I feel like she has to die at some point, but if she doesn't die, now we might be in actually a little bit of a rough spot. If we finish up inspects here,
That's the play. We're going to finish inspects
like
right
it.
now.
Oh, yeah, there it is. The safety off onto Alice, but she's just reading. Nothing's happening, but the fact that she's such a big suspect here means that we're not being paid attention to at our second set of inspects, and we are going to have a very small amount of overtime. But even though this frame has not resulted in a shot, even though that's the case, there's still just so much attention onto our frame target that we are able to complete our own missions. That is a really well executed frame, and even though it doesn't result in a dead civ, it results in so much attention cover that we get away with a spy win on Redwoods, and it's all tied up.
It absolutely is, and suddenly we're into our last venue of regulation here. If either player sweeps, they take the set outright. And if we get tied, we're going to balcony.
Yeah, that is that's gonna be fun to see if we get there. But before that, these players are gonna be looking to sweep gallery. Adafheyesh maybe a little bit frustrated with the fact that they had that lead and it slipped through their grasp. Now, that game from Rhythmicsheep, it's one of those games where you're thinking, okay, well, that was just really, really well done. And maybe you can't be too mad about it, but we'll see if Adafheyesh can close this set out in regulation, or if Sheep can close this set out in regulation, bring a comeback in for 4 games in a row. One of those could be happening. Of course, we always have the draw and the overtime potential. We'll see. We'll find out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah. Ada as Duke, which is kind of a favorite here on Gallery. Not very strong elsewhere, but because of the unique bug, I think that Duke is actually a surprisingly strong spy on Gallery.
Yeah, very dangerous. And if for those who do not know what Sped is referring to with the unique bug, Duke is one of the two characters, well, three characters, but only two are relevant for this reason, that don't bring their arms to their center during their neutral pose. And because of this, when you bug with them, there is no visible snapback at their front, which means that some. Oh, we go for the bug as well at
Oh,
the.
unfortunately, yeah, the AMPA just barely stops and doesn't give us credit for it.
And that would have been a place where the fact that our arms don't come back to our center would have been really, really useful because we were standing towards the sniper, and if we were playing another character whose arms come back to the center, there would be very visible snapback. But instead, Duke just has the arms at the side, no snapback to be seen there, and despite the fact that we didn't get the bug, there's no suspicion for it either.
Yep, but also we picking up the second flirt. Time's ticking down a bit though. All we have are the flirts, and that bug would have made a huge difference as far as our mission progress and our potential, our avenues to finish missions here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bastard's coming back outside again, but I think he's gonna stop again. Frustrated camera shake. Oh no. These opportunities keep being snubbed right at the very end. Instead, we're gonna have to go somewhere else to find our mission progress. And Bastard's gonna be at Blue Bookshelf, so maybe keep some print ideas in mind. We still have over 2 minutes on the clock, so nothing is prohibited at this point due to time, so long as we get moving soon.
Well, the double agent is here at least. We can fire off banana bread as soon as these conversation circles fill up sufficiently for make us happy. We rejected drink, no purloin coming off here. And this is honestly not a bad time, and Ada agrees.
Banana
The
bread.
banana bread is going to come off. There's going to be a few lowlights available, but the SDA is in the outer conversation circle, so a lot of reels coming out.
Yeah, lots and this is a really good contact for Gallery, I feel like. 4 lowlights, both conversations having real, that's pretty optimal for Gallery. Both conversations were basically full.
Yeah, I think we take that every time. And we've seen really good banana breads in this set so far from both players. We saw pretty much a perfect one on High Rise earlier. We saw, I think, a nearly full one on Aquarium as well. They both had very good opportunities and both have made the most of them.
Takes a book out from the back here. Maybe this is going to go back in the wrong bookshelf later on.
I think it has to, with a minute left, and we break animation just bailing out. A wonky path to pick up this last flirt, but this is fine. We'll finish this flirt. It's an unnecessary green test. So we have 2 missions done now, but we still need 2 missions to go, and with a minute left, yeah, this book has to go back into the wrong bookshelf, plus another mission.
Yeah, it does. We'll see what Adafheyesh's plans are, because you really can't get that the third mission done, or that 4th mission done while you have the book. So there's no kind of like Ponoob-esque slam the book at the last second play for
Here we go.
overtime. Here we go.
We do just slam it.
It's just an
Wow.
immediate slam. Yeah.
Yeah, and no shot comes off. Okay.
And Master was outside. That was really well timed.
Yep. But we're down to 20 seconds and we still need this one mission. It has to be a purloin at this point, I think. We don't even have time really to go swap.
Oh, Queen inspects and is being watched for swap here. If we go swap for her, maybe we can get that done.
Don't
or
have
we can,
time.
We just don't have enough time for it. We go for the purloin instead.
And it's
but
a
I
green
think that
test.
reads 15. Are we gonna go pick up Queen statue?
The clock is hanging.
Hang the clock, pick up
is
Queen
hanging.
statue, Adafheyesh? No, the shot comes off onto us instead. What?
The clock was
Shit.
hanging. It didn't even matter.
That is okay. I need to express just how insane of a shot that was from Sheep. Sheep noticed that we rejected as she's watching Queen for a swap. She knows that we reject, and so she knows that we could have hung the clock too. And so when the clock hangs and we go to pick up Queen statue, she knows this is a tricky spy trying to frame Queen for a green swap, and manages to put the bullet in the right back. What? An incredible handling of that overtime from Sheep, and despite incredible play from Adafheyesh, that was probably one of the most impressive shots I have seen in like at least a few weeks, maybe months. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's like
I think
I play and watch a lot of this game.
I think the bookshelf slam was visible. I think Sheep noticed the bookshelf slam, which is really where that shot came from. Because
Maybe,
she wasn't zoomed in on the ambassador outside. She was zoomed in on the back conversation circle as we went to the bookshelf.
maybe, but still, that shot, wow.
All right. Well, Sheep now has earned herself the chance to take this set outright with a spy win here on gallery.
Yeah, and we'll see if she can do it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And we're going to start off here at the bookshelf. Will we rip a book out? We'll pick up the green test flirt for 50% to start with. And now what? The ambassador's going outside. Ada paying a bunch of attention. And I think Sheep is taking advantage of that. Yep, here comes a microfilm.
The
Oh
highlight
no.
was seen.
Yep. At this point, Ada, I think we are a dead spy walking.
And who do you think has the advantage on balcony sped? Just wondering.
Well, I mean, if flirt pairing is the name of the game, I mean, feels like she probably should be favored there. But then again, I don't know how Ada plays balcony. I've never seen him there, and Ada might have some balcony tech that we just don't know about. Ada clearly has tech elsewhere, so.
But yeah, I don't know what more to say about this game. This game feels just lost already. Of course, it's not impossible for Adafheyesh to kind of have that memory fade, but we do just feel like the top suspect right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the microfilm was necessarily completely seen, but it has to at least have been.
Wait, that's one way to potentially win this game if we think, if we get away with that split, but it doesn't look like we're going to cop the low light.
No, unfortunately.
Still a good contact for Gallery. Even fewer low lights than the last time, and both conversations again had real.
Yep, that's absolutely nice.
We took our drink outside, by the way.
Well, it's technically legal.
It is technically legal. That's true. It's just very rare. And the Yomi behind that is something that people love to get into. Is it more suspicious to take a drink outside because it might be the spy, and they're forgetting about that very rarity, or is it less suspicious and it might be more AI because why would a spy do that if they know about the rarity?
I mean, I think that really just depends on your sniper, right?
Yeah, and you could of course completely ignore this information. It's not important that you collect.
Well, at this point, we're just waiting for something to happen to trigger Ada, right? We're just waiting for Ada to agree that enough is enough and take this shot.
We do finish off our flirt here and immediately leave the conversation. We still need our second and third missions with minute 20 on the clock, and we feeling like the biggest, just the biggest walking target in the game right now.
We are the only highlight.
That is a problem.
Minor issue here, yes. And we're down to a minute too, and here we're going into the green bookshelf. Let's see if Ada double zooms in on this bookshelf visit.
On the arm, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Toby is covering us up a little bit, but look at that. The laser stops moving pretty much entirely. That's when you can tell, here's a white
good
chest.
good cover from Toby there too, but the head zoom turn is visible, and the shot will come off. So we're going to balcony.
We are indeed going to balcony, Sped, and, oh boy.
Honestly, I think if any set deserves to go to overtime, it is this one. This has been incredibly well played by both players.
Absolutely. This has just been such a statement set from both players, and whoever is going to have to face one of these two in the next round, it better be scared. Oh, you know what? I didn't plan this, but guess what? The the person who's gonna have to face whoever wins this in the next round is gonna be the winner of our next match casted today, Beanie versus Meteoric.
Wow, what are the odds?
What are the odds indeed? I don't want to calculate it, but it wasn't planned. Let's put it that way.
Sure.
But we do have our next game of balcony. Adafheyesh on the spy side of things, starting us out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So, of course, Balcony, a much different venue from pretty much everything else we've seen here. Here's the early flirt at Windows, and we join our selection target there, and then bail away. Ada not going into the conversation circle, just going to sort of idle out here until at least until the flirtation cooldown ends.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we bounce around this conversation. Every little thing you do on balcony is important. It's one of those, it's because it's so small. There's so little information. The sniper has to collect even, the tiniest bits of information they can to make the decision on who to shoot. And here comes the context, presumably because we do have everyone in the conversation. Smallman's talking and being offered to. That might be pretty suspicious because it's very common for spies to white contact and then have to wait until after the contact to take a drink from Toby, and that is kind of what that looked like for Smallman there. 2 flirts now for Adafheyesh down the drain. Contact done was a green test. It could have been done if we had hit all 3 greens, which is basically impossible to shoot, but oh, look at the highlight.
Interesting, I wonder what that's for.
He's moving out to cut windows, but not to us. Smallman takes a low light, maybe for that positioning at the window. A little bit interesting there. You wouldn't really see that from a spy very often.
Ada positioning himself as well so that when our selection target rejoins conversation circle, he kind of has to come join next to us. Unfortunately, Twin leaves, ruining that, but the green test here will still end this game.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And there it is! Yep, the countdown is on. Can Sheep shoot for this last talk?
The answer to that is no. Sheep cannot. Adafheyesh. We had Sheep's chance at match point. Now we have Adafheyesh's chance at match point. And Sheep is going to be on the spy side, needing to take a balcony spy, which isn't impossible, isn't the hardest thing in the world. Honestly, a lot of it's about your green test rate. Sometimes on the spy side of the balcony, it's we'll see how Sheep fares in the second game of balcony. Is it over? Is this amazing match, is this amazing run by Sheep over yet, or is she going to fight back? In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Well, we get joined by the AI right next to our selection target, and we take that. But of course, an early talk here does look fairly suspicious. And Sheep is aware. Here comes the talk. It's a green test, 51%. We're very happy to take that. But the conversation circle empties out. No banana bread coming off yet, at least.
This is a very nice party for us so far. Other people are moving around. We got to talk next to our ST without anyone really hurt.
Highlight for us.
Go for the bug. We go for the bug, and we get away with it, I think.
Couple of banana bread. Wow, Sheep is going to end this game right now with a banana bread bug, and Ada saw it. Ada saw the bug and takes a shot and will take this set.
Oh, I think that to some degree, you don't need to take that contact there. You take that contact there, and it makes the sniper think, hey, if I were thinking there might have been a bug, now I definitely think there was a bug, because that contact wasn't very good. Why would you contact here when you could contact later if you're just going for a regular game of balcony? Wow.
Yeah, there was a no-talk. It was between us and Twin because of the no-talk. And then the banana bread knocked out Twin, leaving the shot to come. The bug was not even seen.
Banana bread.
And this is an example of what you were talking about. Balcony, every single thing that happens here is under the microscope. Snipers will see things here that they might not otherwise see ordinarily, just because of how small it is. And the smallest thing, like a no-talk, can just knock out the entire game and potentially the entire set.
Yeah, wow, what an incredible set from those two. If we even get half as good as a set in this next one coming up, that will also have been an amazing set. But this set, congratulations to Adafheyesh, commiserations to Rhythmicsheep, because both of them just played lights out SpyParty.
Absolutely. Like, really good play on both sniper and spy side from both. We saw some really interesting plays, really nice tech from both players. Yeah, honestly, they both deserve to move on, but it's going to be very exciting to see how Ada does in the round of 8 against one of these next two players.